how to cite AI generated text. Seeing that all or most of you will probably be using material text generated by ChatGPT or some other AI, I thought it'd be helpful to show how to cite that material. So what we're looking at here is for my demonstration, we have a document with a couple of prompts in it, and then I'll use these prompts in a second. Also have access for this demonstration to a position paper outline, ChatGPT, and this website by MLA, Modern Language Association, which talks about and gives descriptions of citing generative AI text. So there's a link to this here. That's this link. So I'll make this link available in the instructions. So if you want to go check it out, you can. Anyway, let's start here with this prompt. So we're going to use this prompt, and you can see it here, which reads, write a pie paragraph about the benefit of improved accuracy when someone uses AI to write an essay draft. So I'm going to take this prompt and go to ChatGPT. I'm going to copy it. Go to ChatGPT, paste the prompts in the box, and see what ChatGPT comes up with. Okay, so in response to this prompt, you can see the text being generated. Okay, so I'm going to take this text. So let's say you give a prompt like this to ChatGPT and it provides you some output like this. So I'm going to copy this, go back to my doc, and I'm going to paste in here that generated text from ChatGPT. So basically this stuff here is a response to this prompt. Okay, so one of the reasons for this demonstration is because this prompt, keeping track of your prompts is important. Why? Because if you use, for example, let's say you gave ChatGPT this prompt and it generated this stuff here, and you use this or any part of it, say a sentence or all of it, then you need to include a citation for this material. Okay, so this prompt is important. So what you're going to see me do is I'm going to highlight the prompt, I'm going to copy it, and down here I have the start of a citation for this particular prompt. So you can see here, prompt ChatGPT. So this citation is available here. So what you have here is some quotation marks. So there's a reason why I copied the prompt. So I copied the prompt here. I'm going to copy, go back down here to this prompt template or citation template, and I'm going to paste in the prompt inside the quotation marks here. Okay, so this becomes, so this prompt, it's important to keep track of the prompts that you send to the AI like ChatGPT. Why? Because you have to include that in the citation. So I took the prompt, I pasted the prompt inside quotation marks, and this becomes the citation for this material is generated by ChatGPT in this case. Okay, this is important. So as part of your position paper, you should have a list of sources, and the list is titled Works Cited. So here is one source. Okay, so this source is generated by ChatGPT, but because it's artificial intelligence, there is no human author that we're going to cite. So there's no need for, typically in a citation, if you look here, the citation includes author. But since, as you can see the explanation here, according to MLA, they said we do not recommend treating the AI tool as an author. Hence, it generates a citation like this. Here's an example of a citation. So this is similar to the citation we generated here in this doc, except here is the prompt. So right here is the prompt. So it's important that if you are going to use text generated by AI like ChatGPT, that you keep track of the prompt as well as the text that's generated by the AI. Okay, you may want to do it in a doc similar to this. Okay, so let's try another version. We'll take a look at this prompt and let's see. So this prompt reads, you can see it, write a pie paragraph about the impact of hiking in the Hawaiian environment that uses data and statistics as the illustration. So I'm going to take this prompt and return to  insert it in the chat box, and see what it comes with. Sometimes this happens, so when this happens to me, it's that something went wrong, blah, 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 blah. So what I usually do when this happens, I close ChatGPT, open up a new tab, and then I go to ChatGPT. I usually have a link here. So I'm returning back to ChatGPT after closing the tab because I got that error message. And then I'll try again. So I'm going to paste in the prompt. Write a pie paragraph about the impact of hiking in the Hawaiian environment that uses data and statistics as an illustration. Let's see. Okay. So if it's doing as I asked, then it should include data and statistics in this paragraph. Okay, it kind of does. I see numbers here. So in response to this, remember this is the prompt that I took from here, this prompt. So I'm going to copy and paste this into the doc here. So in response to this prompt, this is what AI generated. So here's the prompt. Here's a generated text via that prompt. So if I use this whole paragraph or any part of it, then what I should do is create a new entry here. So I'm going to copy the prompt. I'm going to paste it in here. Copy this. So here's the original prompt. So the prompt goes inside quotation marks. Sorry, it's buffering. I don't know. I guess I gotta. My Wi-Fi is not. So here's the prompt for the second AI generated text version. And so this becomes another source. So if I do use any or all of this material here generated by AI, then I need to include a citation for it, and here it is. Okay, so remember in the citation you're going to include the prompt that you used inside quotation marks, followed by ChatGPT, followed by the version. The current version is the 23 March, and you can see the version. If you go to ChatGPT, if you look down here at the bottom, you can see the current version, March 23rd version. So that's what this is. So you have to, and the version likely will change. If we go through time, as time passes, the version will be updated. So the current version as of April 10th is the March 23rd version of ChatGPT. Okay, so this date will change. So whatever date you input the prompt and got text output, then that should be the particular date. So since it's happening today, we use today's date. But of course, this date will change as we move into the future. Yeah. All right, so we have two possible sources. So in my position paper, if I use this or any part of it, a sentence or a couple sentences from here, then I should include a citation. Okay, let me demonstrate. So if I did use this, let's say I use this in entirety. Technically, because all of this came from AI, ChatGPT, I need to put all of it inside quotation marks. Remember, quotation marks are indicators that all the text in between the quotation marks is from someone else, not you. Okay, because all this came from AI, and in this case ChatGPT, we need to enclose it inside quotation marks. But that's one step. We also need to include a citation, an in-text citation. So one type of citation is parenthetical, where we put information about the source inside parentheses. So for this particular source, we got it from this prompt here. So technically we should use because there is no author, typically in a parenthetical citation we put an author's last name here. So let's say this was written by Smith, and we would put Smith. But because it's not written by a person, it's written by AI, and there is no author here, we're going to use the first part of the title, particularly if the title is lengthy like this. So the prompt becomes the title of the source. So because this, so technically, what you might do is include the whole title. So I'm going to copy this and put that inside parentheses. So this becomes the in-text citation. It's called a parenthetical reference. But sometimes we don't want it's not required to have the entire title. So I'm going to use just the beginning part of it. I'm just going to use not the whole thing, but the first distinct words of the title. So I'm going to use these words. So do you have to use the entire title of the source? No. In fact, you usually don't want to do that. Typically, if you have a source that has no author, you cite the first 3 or 4 words of the title. In this case, I'm doing more than 3 or 4. Okay, so for this source, if I use this in my, let's say I used just these sentences here. I used these. Okay, I didn't use the whole thing. I used these. Still, because it's written by someone else, in this case the AI, I put inside quotation marks. And then I need to include a citation here. So I'm going to put parentheses here, period. And then because this came from this, via this prompt, I'm going to use these words. So I could use the whole prompt, but since there's so many words in the prompt, I don't want to use all of them. I'm just going to use the first bunch of the words. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. So I'm going to copy this, go back to here, and then quotation marks. So these quotation marks here in the parentheses indicate that these words came from a title, or in this case, a prompt. So I kind of covered that base, that a couple bases to cover. If you do use words from a source, whether they're generated by AI or from some human writer from an article that you found, you need to enclose those words inside quotation marks if you're using the exact words. All the words that came from a source should be enclosed inside quotation marks. And step 2 is you have to include an in-text citation. Okay, so let me just add you, I'll close here. So I'm looking back at the outline here. So I'm going to take all of these sources. So in your position paper outline, you should have included a list of sources. So I'm going to take this list and add it to this one and talk quickly or briefly about it. So I have to move all these to the left margin. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, here we go. So one thing about these lists, they should be listed in alphabetical order. So right now, these 2 sources are not in alpha order. They're out of order because they start with, in this case, the word right, W. They're out of order. So I'm going to move these. So I'm going to take these. I'm going to here. So they VW. So they go right here. Okay. So your list of sources should be listed in alphabetical order. In this case, the first source in the order begins with Leatherman, followed by Warder, Parachi, Parlata, Sutherland, so forth. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is how to format that. So typically in these works cited lists, the first line of an entry is on the left margin, and any subsequent lines are what's called, they're indented in what's called a hanging indent. So let me demonstrate how you do that. So I'm going to highlight all the items in the list. So I'm going to do what's called a hanging indent. So I'm going to go to Format, Align and Indent, Indentation Options. Under Special Indent here, Hanging, and Apply. So hanging tells it that you're going to indent the second, third, fourth, and whatever how many additional lines there are, 0.5 inches, half an inch. So I'm going to apply and see how it does it. Okay. So typically the sources in MLA works cited list are listed in alpha order and with hanging indents. You can see first line on the left margin, subsequent lines indented, in this case half an inch. Okay, and there you have it. Okay. So hopefully this helps. So make sure that in your position paper draft you include a works cited list that's with the sources listed in alpha order, and with hanging indents. Okay, so hopefully this helps, and if you have questions, please let me know and work on those citations. Aloha.